welcome back to the Command Center. As you can see from the prompter, you understand me, the Command Center presents Matthew's a retro hour. You dig? You understand me? Tonight we got a video game historian in the building. He's gonna be talking a little bit about Crash Bandicoot for the PlayStation 1. My retro fans out there, get ready. You dig? Here we go. Another episode of the Command Center. Don't forget about our 500 subscriber giveaway, and we're gonna relinquish control to Matthew because it's his retro hour. Mr. Matthew in the building. Let me turn it down. Let's go. We're gonna get a little feedback. Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Thank you, Quentin.
You okay?
All right. Welcome. All right. I am Matthew McConaughey, host of Matthew's Retro Alley. Now, tonight we have a very special game for you. Crash Bandicoot, the original Crash Bandicoot.
Okay.
I'm talking 1996 here. Now, I loved this game as a kid. It was the second game I had. I was actually given to it by a friend. Loved the game. Me and my dad played it like crazy. I might have cheated to get the end when I was little, but never 100% of it. Gotta admit that. But I loved the game. Played it before I had a memory card. I'd go like halfway through the game, and then I'd have to start over. But I loved it that much. But Crash Bandicoot, you do not realize what you have when you're a kid. Crash Bandicoot was a technical marvel.
Oh my God.
Technical marvel. I'm telling you. Naughty Dog. You might have heard of him, I guess. That Last of Us, it was kind of popular, I guess. But before they did that, they were making real gems like Crash Bandicoot and Jak and Daxter. And Crash Bandicoot was their first game with Sony. They had made games before that. In fact, Naughty Dog was founded in 1984 by Andy Gavin and James Rubin. Sorry, not Joseph Rubin, James Rubin. There was a third guy. He did not come along for the full ride. And they played several games for the Apple and the Amiga, and eventually they moved to the Sega Genesis and the 3DO. You may have heard of the Rings of Power for Sega Genesis and the Way of the Warrior for 3DO. That last one, now that got them a little bit of interest from Universal Interactive Studios, where they met Mark Cerny, who convinced them to make a cartoon-style animated game, and it just it took off from there. They weren't sure at first what console they were going to use, but soon it became very clear that they had to go PlayStation. The original PlayStation came out in 1994, in the fall of 1994. In Japan only, unfortunately. We had to wait for a year in North America.
No!
Yes. But eventually the wait was over, and in 1995 the PlayStation was introduced to American audiences, and we fell in love. Immediately sales skyrocketed. And Andy Gavin said, What can I do? He looked around and he said, the competition haven't released any new consoles. What I have isn't powerful enough. He didn't want to do PC anymore. The PlayStation had technology that, in fact, most PCs lacked. A typical PC back then, it could do like a few hundred polygons, maybe a few thousand polygons every second. The PlayStation could do 120,000 raw polygons per second.
Oh my God! Oh my
yes.
God! Oh my God!
Because it actually kind of licensed technology from Silicon Graphics, which is the name back then in professional 3D graphics. I mean, these things were being used. These workstations, Silicon Graphics workstations, were being used by professional 3D animators in like the movie industry, and that's basically a very downsized version of that. What went into the original PlayStation. So the team at Naughty Dog, Andy Gavin especially, decided to make this game. They wanted it kind of a mascotty game that implemented elements from their favorite childhood cartoons, like Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes, the stretchy, the expressions, the stretchiness, the cartoon violence. They wanted everything to be in there, and so, but even the PlayStation with all its power was still technically limited. Okay. It didn't have the memory. It didn't have the oomph in the processing to really do it. So they had to kind of hack their way there. He looked at the. This is based. A lot of this information is based off a video by Ars Technica. You must watch it. It's called. It's War Stories: The Making of Crash Bandicoot. Must watch. Supplementary information does also come from Wikipedia.
Yeah, because I thought Crash Bandicoot was Sony's mascot character there for a while.
Not officially. Not officially.
Okay.
They had the commercials. They had Crash Bandicoot in a commercial literally go over to the Nintendo headquarters and say, "Hey, Mustache, I'm here to take you on." It
was crazy.
But he's like the unofficial mascot of PlayStation, because Sony's like, we don't do mascots. Well, they needed one. But anyway, Andy Gavin actually hacked the PlayStation. He deleted a lot of the code so he could have more memory to work with. He also did a bypass. See, the Sony programming languages that the code that they were supposed to be using for game development limited that 120,000 polygons down to 5,000 polygons.
Oh my god!
But there's a workaround by bypassing the Sony code and going through the coprocessor directly through the GPU.
Oh.
So they were actually just directly interfacing with the hardware itself with no middleman. So that's how they got back up to almost 120,000 polygons. So that's why Crash is so detailed. That's why his environments are so detailed.
It's a good game. Let me tell you.
That's why it's so colorful. Look at things like in the video it mentions. Look at Tomb Raider and gray.
Yeah.
All the colors are gray. But Crash isn't gray. Everything's colorful. Everything, the jungle aesthetic, the island aesthetic, and it's vibrant, and the color brings the game to life where it would otherwise be dull.
When they come out with that, Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot, fall of 1996.
Oh my god.
Yes. And Crash Bandicoot, he actually takes up a lot of polygons on the screen. He's 600 polygons, and they only every frame has 1,500 polygons, and he takes up 600 of them because he's supposed to be that animated character with all that stretchiness and all that stuff. They actually baked the different animations on more powerful computers and just load them in. None of the animation is really being done by the PlayStation itself. They're actually just bringing that in.
Yeah.
And another memory limitation that they had, the PlayStation has 2 megabytes of RAM.
Okay.
Now.
Oh my god.
Not gigabytes.
Oh my god.
Not gigabytes. We're not dealing with gigabytes.
So
here.
they are
We're
underpowered.
2 megabytes
of
RAM.
underpowered.
You got pictures on your phone that are bigger that would overload the PlayStation. Now other games, they would have to use the 2 megabytes. Like their levels might be 1 megabyte, and then the effects and all the other characters are another megabyte. So that's how traditional game development for the PlayStation worked. But not Crash. Because Andy developed a way to he breaks down the levels in tiny little 64 kilobyte bits, and which are slowly loaded into the RAM and taken out. So you see the whole level, and these things are huge.
Man.
They're broken into tiny little bits that the PlayStation is constantly loading in, and that's why the disc always spins on Crash Bandicoot. A lot of other games, the disc will just
stop.
The disc will stop or just regular spin, but on Crash Bandicoot,
it's continuously
constantly at maximum speed because it's always loading the level, and because these levels are like 30 megabytes.
Woo! They crammed that in there.
15 times larger than what the RAM would suggest you could have. And this technique, he actually patented this technique of loading directly from the disk drive and pushing it through into the active memory into the GPU.
Oh my God!
He patented this, and it was used on all the subsequent games, and he used it later on in the Jak and Daxter series. That's why there's no loading times in Jak and
Daxter. Yeah, that's a hit. That was a hit. That's another hit.
A lot of modern games also do this too. I mean, he basically started the whole trend.
Man,
Andy Gavin's kind of a genius. He's got like a PhD, and he made his own language. He made his own programming language. He built a whole new programming language just for the next game series, Jak back in
Oh my God!
This
Yeah,
guy,
that's
he worked in artificial intelligence at MIT.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
So
he's a brain
he's kind of a
surgeon.
prodigy.
Yeah. We're gonna come back and take a look at this game.
Oh
that
yeah,
Matt's talking about.
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot coming right up. I gotta admit, I haven't played it in several years. I haven't played a lot of games recently.
Okay.
I will rage quit.
Don't rage quit. Oh
Crash
my God.
Bandicoot brings fear.
Oh my God.
But you will see what I'm talking about, the colorful levels, the animations, ridiculous. Everything, it's beautiful.
Okay, yeah.
It's beautiful.
So we're going to return with Matthew in his retro hour.
Matthew's
retro hour. We're going to be doing this every Saturday. So yeah, look forward to this. Matthew's a video game historian. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all already know. We're going to come back with part 2, and we're going to be taking a look at Matthew and his Retro Alley Crash Bandicoot. Holla!